Welcome to the State of the Danish Commonwealth Report. If you enjoy this, you can find more like it on our YouTube channel, Pals Fundamentals. Let's just jump right in. We'll start with Denmark.
Well, the big thing in Denmark right now is the cost of strengthening their defense. They're saying now it's probably going to be over 300 billion kroner.
On top of the, what, 200 billion?
Yeah, in addition to the 200 billion that's already been allocated.
Wow. So why is it going up so much?
Well, there's a couple things going on. One is that the Arctic is becoming more strategically important. And the second thing is that Denmark's got to meet the upcoming NATO force goals, which are going to take a lot more investment.
So their location and commitments to NATO are causing these financial burdens.
Exactly. In fact, Defense Minister Troels Lund Poulsen said that Denmark has to adapt to the security environment and that it really resembles the Cold War.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he also said that they need to work with Greenland and the USA in defending the Arctic and the Commonwealth.
It seems like collaboration is going to be key here, especially with all the attention Greenland's been getting lately. Let's turn our attention to Greenland now.
Okay, well, one thing that's been in the news a lot lately is this Siam member of parliament, Kudo Finker. He went to the USA to attend Donald Trump's inauguration.
Right. And he was meeting with Trump supporters. That caused some controversy, didn't it? Like with the Greenland government's stance on talking to the USA.
Yeah, it did. The government wants all communication to go through official channels, so him doing his own thing caused a lot of concern, and even his own party had to respond.
What did Simet say about all this?
The chairman, Erik Jensen, said that the party had nothing to do with Finker's actions, that he was on his own, basically, and that he's responsible for what he did in the U.S.
And what did Finker say about all the criticism he got?
Well, he said that it was his right to travel and meet with whoever he wanted to privately. He said that he wasn't trying to undermine the government's position at all.
A political storm, for sure.
Yeah.
Was there anything else noteworthy about Greenland and the USA?
Well, there was this poll by Patriot Polling. It claimed that most Greenlanders want to join the USA, and it actually got picked up by American media.
Yeah, and even cited by Congressman Andy Ogles, I think. Wasn't there some problems with that poll, though?
Yeah, experts questioned the methodology. It was a really small sample size, so people weren't really sure about the results. But anyway, let's move on to the Faroe Islands.
Okay, well, the former U.S. ambassador to Denmark, Carla Sands, had some things to say about them.
Yeah, she said that she's concerned about Denmark's ability to defend and develop Greenland, that Denmark's not doing enough to protect the island.
Again, this seems to tie back into the whole collaboration thing and how important Greenland is strategically.
Right. She thinks that the USA needs to have a bigger presence in Greenland for security and development. She even said that Trump's a great negotiator, so his son's visit to Nuuk was totally on purpose. It was diplomatic.
Yeah, she seems to think so.
Yeah.
And speaking of Denmark and Greenland, did you hear about that debate?
The one on TV. Yeah, they broadcasted it on TV2 and KNR. Politicians from Greenland and Denmark talking about all sorts of things, independence and Greenland's place in the world.
Yeah, that was a pretty big deal. Where was it even held?
It was at Katuak in Nuuk.
Oh, wow.
It was packed too, almost at capacity. They even had a live connection to a studio in Denmark, so the Danish politicians could participate.
Was there an audience?
Yeah, they were there. At the beginning, they asked the audience to applaud if they heard something they agreed with. And apparently the Greenlanders applauded so much they had to edit most of it out of the broadcast.
Oh, wow. Sounds like it was intense. Was this before or after Trump made those comments about Greenland?
This was right in the middle of all that. But his name never came up during the debate. One of the big things they talked about was Greenland's independence. They asked the chairman of the Naalakkersuisut, Greenland's government, Mute B. Ijid, about his vision for an independent Greenland.
What did he say?
He said that it's important to have sensible thinking, which he thinks Greenlanders are good at. And he said that Greenland shouldn't have to rely on Denmark to talk to the rest of the world.
So basically, he wants Greenland to be more independent globally. What about economically? Did that come up?
Yeah, Ebershid seemed pretty optimistic about Greenland's chances of becoming economically independent. He said that he hoped that in the next 25 years, Greenland would be more educated, have a stronger business sector, and industries like mining and tourism would be booming.
That's a big goal. Did anyone else talk about the economy?
The Minister of Finance, Erik Jensen, seemed confident about Greenland becoming self-sufficient. He talked about having better trade with Denmark and the USA.
So it seems like a lot of Greenlandic politicians think economic independence is possible.
Well, not everyone was so optimistic. Nalarakapeli Broberg, the leader of the Nalarak Party, she wants total autonomy. For her, it's all about Greenland having complete control over its own affairs. No interference from anyone.
So she's more hardcore about independence than Yper and Jensen.
Yeah, much more. She wants Greenland totally independent with no obligations to any other countries. It looks like there are different opinions in Greenland about this. Did you hear about anything else from the debate?
They brought up the spiral scandal.
Yeah, they did. Henriette Berthelsen, one of the women who's suing the Danish state over the forced sterilizations, was actually there.
Oh, wow. Didn't she have a request for the Danish government?
Yeah, she asked for an apology from the prime minister who wasn't actually there. But Lars Løkke Rasmussen, the Danish foreign minister, tried to address it.
How'd that go?
Not great. He said it was serious and that he felt for the women, but he didn't give a full apology. He said they're still doing a historical investigation.
So still some tension there between Greenland and Denmark.
Definitely. Switching gears a bit, remember Emmanuel Nuco?
The politician who got kicked out of parliament.
Yeah, he was expelled from Inatsisartut back in April 2024 after that court case. You know the one with the violence charges? The assault and disturbing the...
Pretty serious stuff.
Yeah, but he was acquitted of the assault charges in both the district court and the high court, although the high court did fine him for disturbing the peace.
Did he pay it?
Yeah, he paid the fine. Anyway, he's trying to make a comeback. He's running for office again.
Really? Which party?
Nalak.
Figures. Makes sense with their whole independence thing. What are his talking points?
Well, he says he's focused on better education for kids, making sure the youth have a good future, improving social work, stuff like that. He also wants sustainable business and better living conditions in the rural areas.
That's important to a lot of people.
It is. I guess we'll see if voters trust him after all that happened.
Yeah, we'll see. So speaking of controversy, what about that Saimaa member of parliament, Kuno Fenker? Remember him?
Oh, yeah, the guy who went to the U.S.
Yeah, the one who went to Trump's inauguration and was hanging out with Trump supporters. That didn't go over well with his party, did it?
Nope, not at all. Especially after the Nalakersuisut, Greenland's government said that all communication with the USA should go through them. So some people thought Fenker was trying to undermine the government, especially when he went to the U.S. House of Representatives and met with Congressman Andy Ogles, the Trump guy.
How did Sixsmith react?
Eric Jensen, the party chairman, said that Fenker was on his own. He said he didn't tell anyone in the party that he was going or who he was meeting with.
But he just went rogue.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Jensen said he had no authorization from Singo to do any of that.
What did Fenker say about all this?
He said that he has the right to travel and meet with anyone he wants privately, that he doesn't need permission from his party to do his own thing.
So basically there's some disagreement in Saimaa now about how to deal with the USA.
Looks like it. And remember that poll by Patriot Polling, the one that said most Greenlanders want to join the USA?
The one that wasn't very reliable.
Yeah, that one. Well, Congressman Ogles brought it up when he met with Fenker.
Even though it wasn't accurate, it's still being used to talk about Greenland's future.
Yep. Which brings us back to the Faroe Islands and Carla Sands.
She had more to say.
Yeah, she expressed concerns about Denmark's ability to defend and develop the Faroe Islands, too.
So she's worried about the whole Danish Commonwealth.
It seems that way. She thinks that the USA should be more involved in making sure Greenland and the Faroe Islands are safe and doing well.
And she thinks that Trump is the guy for the job because he's such a good negotiator.
That's right.
So basically, the USA, with Trump, is getting more active in the Arctic, and Greenland wants more autonomy and maybe even closer ties with the USA, and then you have the Faroe Islands with their own issues.
You could say that.
What about increased military presence in the Arctic? Can you talk about that?
Some experts are worried about a potential arms race in the Arctic. They think it could make things unstable.
It's tricky. You want to be secure, but you don't want to escalate tensions.
Exactly. What do you think?
Well, let's look on the bright side. Didn't Denmark and Greenland just sign a new agreement about those nautical charts?
Oh, yeah, they did. It's supposed to last until 2041. It's good news for sure. They're working together.
It's nice to hear some positive news with all this political stuff going on.
For sure. But there's also these economic concerns for the whole Danish Commonwealth.
Like what?
Well, Trump's talking about putting tariffs on Danish goods.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, a lot of Danish businesses are worried about what that'll do to their exports to the USA.
Trade wars and tariffs never end well, do they?
Yeah.
Has anyone talked about the USA giving security guarantees to Greenland?
Some people have, yeah. Like Carla Sands. They say that the USA can protect Greenland better than Denmark can because Denmark doesn't have a very strong military.
But wouldn't that mean the USA would have more control over Greenland? Wouldn't that be a problem for people who want Greenland to be independent?
Exactly. It's tough for Greenland. They want to be safe, but they also want to be independent. And then there's China.
What's China doing?
They've been more active in the Arctic lately, investing in infrastructure and stuff. They want to be a bigger player in the region.
So now there's even more going on up there.
Yeah. Both the USA and Denmark are keeping a close eye on China.
The Arctic is becoming a global power struggle.
It really is. Things are changing fast. There's all this internal stuff going on, but also these big external pressures.
It shows how something happening in one part of the world can affect everyone.
You got it.
Yeah, it's a lot to think about.
Mhm.
So we talked about all sorts of things today. Denmark's defense spending, Greenland's politics, the Faroe Islands. What do you think are the most important things for our listeners to take away from all this?
Well, I think we see how Denmark, Greenland, and the USA are all figuring out their relationships with each other. And there's so much going on, politically and historically, and with global power dynamics changing.
And inside Greenland, there are all these discussions about their future, what they want, how to be independent, but also stay safe.
Exactly. And we see how the USA and China are both trying to get more involved in the Arctic, which makes everything even more complicated.
It's a fascinating region, and it's changing so quickly.
It is. It really shows how something happening way up there can actually affect the whole world.
Well, thanks for joining us for this State of the Danish Commonwealth report. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, Pels Fundamentals, for more content like this.
Absolutely. And until next time, stay curious.